The following video and explanation shows the Cavendish experiment observations recreated with ferrofluid and a magnetic field. It is the pulling together of matter. Yet the reason and cause is due to electromagnetism and electricity, not made up word gravity. Energy attracts matter. This is how your veins and tree limbs are made, just to show it works on all things. Gravity is a speed at which something falls, nothing more. There is no experiment to show gravity except the bending of light in a gravitational field. The debunk for this is laser light through soap bubbles alters the path, so it's not proof of anything, except light may be redirected. And the Faraday effect shows light can be bent by a magnetic field in a medium, which would be plasma here in space. Then we have gravitational redshift. Again, more theory saying white light goes red when accelerated away, which cannot be verified except to say the universe is expanding. I say redshift is stars going out, as redshift has been seen in front of blue shift, which they say is impossible. Yet it happens. But it is not reported, because it shows it to be a lie. I recreate the Cavendish experiment observations with electromagnetism. Yesterday I recreated gravity using electromagnetism. How is redshift measured? Astronomers also use redshift to measure approximate distances to very distant galaxies. The more distant an object, the more it will be redshifted. Do you see? The further away, the more redshift. Wrong. Blues are in front of reds, and blues are behind reds. Some very distant objects may emit energy in the ultraviolet or even higher energy wavelengths. The only way to debunk this is by telling me how rain forms by gravity. An electromagnetic double helix field creates spheres and pulls them in. Tell me how gravity does it, please. So, the Cavendish effect. Two veins, two spheres being pulled together. Nothing to do with gravity. It's to do with EM forces. This is the construction, which uses torsion balance made of 6-foot wooden rod horizontally suspended from a wire, 2-inch diameter, 1.6 pound lead spheres, each attached to each end. Two 12-inch 348 pound lead balls were located near the smaller balls, about 9 inches away, held in place with a separate suspension system. The experiment measured the faint gravitational attraction between the small balls and the larger ones. I say it's electromagnetism. They're using metal here, so am I. The two large balls were positioned on alternate sides of the blah 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 blah. You can go and look at that experiment if you want to. You have to use metal in the Cavendish experiment. Metals are moved by electricity and electromagnetism, as I've proven. So let's be clear here. Their science observations are from 100 years old, before electricity and electromagnetism were considered anything. And NASA, up until a few months ago, stated electricity and electromagnetism played no role in space. They have changed that thought now, very quietly and covertly, as all science say that's a lie. And all science shows these forces at work, so they had to say it exists. Remember that, a few months ago. The problem with this rubbish, their mutual attraction causes the arms to rotate and their combined gravitational force, both of these statements confirm their idea, which is not science. This is an assumption. Based upon their premise, gravity exists. They form the conclusion based on the observations and assign their word to it, gravity, based on what they want you to hear to confirm their supposed findings. You cannot claim gravity. Why? Because there is no mutual attraction of matter. Energy moves matter, as I have proven. I have shown that electromagnetism rotates matter. I have shown that energy twists, the same as gravity. Except, I have proven my mechanics on video. So here is evidence of matter pulling together, just like the Cavendish experiment, again disproving gravity and showing electromagnetism and electricity rule the universe. Mainstream gravity is now replaced by correct electromagnetic theory. Energy moves matter, and it is confirmed. Mutual attraction, it's how veins are constructed, tree limbs, bones, heart, lungs, brain, everywhere. If it makes a tube, it can make a connection, and there's two of them being pulled together into one. It is not gravity, it is an electromagnetic helix rotation induction, which pulls all matter together. Thanks very much. My name is Lee, I follow the Christ, and this is really, really easy, really. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Ah, the Cavendish experiment. What an absolute shit show this is. For anyone to put their name to this experiment is a joke and an embarrassment. So I've just completed my first Cavendish magic show experiment. I actually encourage you all to do this experiment for yourself. By doing it yourself, you get an extra insight into the shit show that is the Cavendish magic experiment. Anyone claiming this shit show proves anything is a fraud, straight up. Before we look at my experiment, I want to take you into the mind of a mad glober trying to prove something using a completely flawed experiment protocol. Let's hear what this mad glober has to say about his Cavendish magic show.
Okay, so twice now I've run this, and both times it's come to rest at a position other than its equilibrium position, but both times I've had some inherent motion in the system. As you see in the time lapse, there was some slight swinging in the rod, although that's kind of a good thing because it's another proof is that this has come to rest at that position and is no longer swinging, which means that the force holding it there, in fact just off a bit, because
Did you hear that? He states that he could not get the beam to stop moving. And guess what? That's what I found as well. And guess what? That's also what Sly found, and he hints at this in his comments when he rightly says that this experiment requires extreme patience. Yeah, because the damn beam never actually stops moving. When I was doing mine, a car would drive past and the damn bar started moving again. The constant and unstable movement of the beam is very frustrating and it will never sit still. So let's take a peek at my experiment. You'll see here that I've modified the protocol in an effort to get the beam to stop moving. After hours and hours and looking through the time-lapse footage, you quickly realize that even when this beam stops, just wait for another 30 seconds and off she goes again. Creak in the house, a car driving by, someone 500 meters away sneezing. Okay, I'm exaggerating now. So what Sly and the idiot before has done is waited for hours and hours for the damn beam to stop moving. Well, it never stops, but it does stay still for long enough to place that bowling ball or big rock next to the beam. Just wait 30 seconds and watch the magic happen. The beam just starts moving again, whether the bowling ball or rock is there or not. Guarantee it will always start moving again. So from a video point of view, it is ridiculously easy to fake this. You could video the beam coming to a complete stop, fool everyone, quickly place the heavy objects next to the beam, wait 30 seconds, and hey presto, it looks like the beam is attracted to the heavy objects. Complete fraud, complete magic show, complete waste of everyone's time. Shame on you, Globers. This one reeks of desperation. You're better than this. Okay, with the two identical mass objects on either side, the 1 litre milk carton should hover in the centre. But it doesn't. It appears to have a tendency to lean to the right. That's interesting, isn't it? If it has a tendency, then we can predict where that weight is next going to move. And that's the magic trick right there, folks. It's very easy to predict, once the beam stops for a couple of seconds, where its tendency is going to be. And that's how the clowns doing this magic show are making the weight appear to be attracted to the larger weight object. Boy, to put your name to this as proof of anything is embarrassing and 100% fraudulent. Alright, so watch now as the beam starts rotating the wrong way once we have the heavy objects in play. Remember, it should be rotating towards the heavy boxes of paper, but it goes the wrong way. So why is that? Well, remember how the beam had a tendency to go that way. At this point, it was simply up to me. Do I place the heavy objects to the right and claim I've just proved gravity? Or do I place the heavy objects on the left and prove what a load of garbage this experiment is? The heavy objects are simply getting in the way of the tendency for the beam or the rod to go in one direction. So, how can we make sure we are not duped here? My advice is to ask for at least 30 minutes of footage after the rod stops moving. And make sure it stays dead still for at least 2 minutes after placing the heavy objects next to it. But look, even then, it would be easy to edit the footage and still fool you. This one is busted, folks. Thanks for watching.